Hello students, welcome to the class of answer writing. Now this is going to be a very important class. This is the first class, and in this class basically I will be discussing with you the general things about answer writing. And as you all know that there has been a change in the syllabus and there has already been a change in the pattern, the way examiner is asking the questions. In the older pattern, you were just required to write 3000 words, or at most you were required to write 3600 words. In the older pattern, you were not required to write 5000 words that you are required to write now. पुराने पैटर्न में क्या था कि आप 3000 से 3600 वर्ड लिखते थे and you were given around 180 minutes in the older pattern, and even in the new pattern you are given 180 minutes, but the number of words that you require to write, they have jumped up to 5000. In the older pattern, पुराने पैटर्न में 1 मिनट में आप 16 से 17 वर्ड लिखते थे, but in the new pattern, when you are supposed to write 5000 words, you need to write at least 27 words per minute. So in 1 minute, the examiner expects you to write 27 words. So there has been a jump of at least how many words? 10 words per minute. So you are supposed to write at least 1500 more words. 3000 you were writing. Now you are supposed to write 5000. So your speed now it has to improve tremendously. There has to be a tremendous improvement in the speed. From subsonic stage, you have to catapult yourself to supersonic stage. The subsonic speed is no longer going to help you. You are required to write really fast. Now how that is going to happen? Now that is very important. How can we do that? How can we increase our speed? How can we write so fast? There are certain issues in answer writing. This is the first class, and you all know. And in this class, I will be just talking generally about answer writing. I won't be discussing about very specific technique. I won't be discussing about a very specific way of writing. I won't be discussing about very specific art that you need to practice in this answer writing in this class. So I'm just going to tell you about general things, give you a brief idea. See, in the mains examination, in the entire process of civil services, answer writing is the most crucial thing. Because it is only the answers, it is only the written answers that will fetch you the marks. If you are not going to write, you are not going to get marks. Just remember this thing. If you are not going to get marks, you are not going to qualify the exam. So it is only about fetching marks. And answer writing is something that can help you fetch marks. And when I am telling you about answer writing, I mean good answer writing. I mean a very standardized way of answer writing. Writing an answer whose benchmark is really high. I'm not talking about generalized way of writing. I'm not talking you're just writing anything. It's not like that. It's not going to work. You have to improve your answer writing skills. You have to write very effectively. You have to write to the point. Your answer needs to be precise. Your answers must manifest enriched vocabulary. Your answers must manifest your comprehensibility of the thought, how much you have encompassed about a particular topic. आपको यहाँ पे पता है, but एग्जामिनर ने ये चीज नहीं देखनी है आपकी. एग्जामिनर ने आपका देखना है piece of paper on which you would have written the answer. Now, what is answer writing? Answer writing is a skill. Answer writing skill is something that will help you to put up your entire brain, this entire thought on a piece of paper. Now, there are so many dissuasions, there are so many stoppages, there are so many blockages, there are so many hindrances, there are so many pitfalls in this way of thought to paper. So, thought से paper तक के आने के लिए, so it is a journey from thought to paper. Answer writing is nothing, it is a journey from thought to a piece of paper. It is a journey of your thoughts. Now, how can you successfully implement this journey? How can you make sure that your journey is actually leading to certain results? You can make it assured if you have good command on the language. I might be sounding like American, I might be sounding like a British English, but I just want to bring home the point. I just want to focus on this thing, that language is something that will help you to communicate directly with the examiner. So it is the tool. It is the tool which will connect you to the checker. Just keep certain things in mind while you are writing an answer, or while you begin to write an answer, is that the examiner is really going to check your answer sheets. He is really going to read your thoughts. He is really going to interpret what was in your mind. See, what happens with the students who are lacking in this answer writing skill, I will tell you. First, in this class, I will be discussing more of the negative things. Second class, more positive things will come. How to do it. So this is the class basically on the lacunas that students have in their answer writing. First of all, you must know about the problem areas. Only then you can work on improving yourself. If you will not be aware of the problems, you will not work. So there are certain problems that the students face while answering the questions. Now, what kind of problems they face? Just keep one thing in your mind, that the examiner is really going to interpret your mind through the answers that you will be writing. So there will be a certain kind of correlation between your mind and the mind of the checker, who is going to check your answer sheets. Now this, I am discussing about the flaw areas. I will put it up here. What are the general mistakes, or what are the general lacunas? कौन सी general mistakes and lacunas students basically करते हैं जब वो answer writing करते हैं? तो the basic thing, the biggest mistake that the students make while answering the question is that they fail to bring their thoughts to paper. This is the biggest lacuna. If you are not able to put up your thoughts properly on a piece of paper, it means you are lacking in some skill. The second biggest problem with the students is that about vocab. See, you can write an answer only if you will be having the vocabulary. Without vocabulary, you will not be able to write an answer. So, possession of a treasure of vocabulary is must for the civil services. If you are not possessing this treasure, it will problems. From day one of your preparation, this is something that you need to focus upon. Then third thing that the students lack in their answer is the flow. Apart from vocabulary and their inability to put up their thoughts on a piece of paper, they basically lack in flow. It means their answer is very haphazard. It is highly unwieldy. It is not integrated. There is no flow in the answer. There is no smoothness in the answer. Lack of smoothness in the answer means lack of smoothness in the thoughts. And lack of smoothness in the thoughts means that you have failed to understand. You have failed to understand a certain thing, and examiner is certainly going to give you less marks. See, if you have understood something, if you have understood what is capital market, a certain amount of thoughts will get embedded in your mind about capital market. So whenever there will be a question in the exam about the capital market, those thoughts will pop up, and those popping thoughts will help you to write an answer. You can manifest yourself on a piece of paper only if you will have a crystal clear understanding. Now, what I am trying to emphasize over here is that most people, they lack in this understanding aspect. See, thought to paper, बहुत लोग नहीं कर पाते. 80% of the students, अगर आप उनको वैसे पूछो जनरली कि आप बताओ इंडिया का इंडस्ट्री क्यों डेवलप नहीं हो रहा, they will tell you each and everything. They will tell you India's industry is not developing because this policy is wrong, that policy is wrong, this policy is wrong, this rule and regulation is wrong, this statutory framework is not right, this regulatory framework is not right, we have failed to develop human capital, we have failed to develop particular things. So if you will talk to somebody, he or she may come out with n number of ideas, but when it will come to writing, it is really going to be tough. They will just fumble up, they will just shiver. So, if you have thoughts, but you are not able to put up the thoughts, that is a language, that is a vocabulary you are lacking in. You are lacking in the communication. See, language is nothing, it's a vehicle to communicate. Language is a vehicle to communicate, and if you're lacking, if you're not having that vehicle, it is going to create problems. 80% of the students, they are not able to write what they have in their mind. This is a big problem. That is vocabulary is there, that is flow. Then apart from these things, answer writing problems I'm discussing about. It's the tendency of the students to present their thought about different situations, about different things, and about different question in a similar manner. It means a regularizing your thought. It means regularizing the way of presentation. If your entire paper will reflect this regularization of your presentation, it is going to create problems. Now what it means, regularization of the way of the presentation? It means, suppose a cricketer, there is a bowler, it means he has the ability to bowl, but he is having only the ability to bowl and in swinger. Ball hit करती है और अंदर की तरफ आ जाती है विकेट की. Means from your side it will like this in swinger. So it means that the bowler can present himself to the batsman in only one manner. He is lacking the variation. He is lacking the ability to play with the words. He is lacking the ability to play with the sentences. He is lacking the ability to impress the examiner. Now, this can create a big problem. हर एक चीज में it is because of this industry के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आएगा, इंडस्ट्री फेलियर के ऊपर। ऐसा स्टूडेंट किस तरह करेगा? हर एक आंसर में वो पर्टिकुलर टाइप ऑफ लैंग्वेज ही यूज करेगा, एक ही वर्ड को पूरे पेपर में 500 वर्ड्स पहले आप लिखते हैं, अब 5000 रिक्वायर्ड है। ऐसा स्टूडेंट क्या करता है, एक पर्टिकुलर वर्ड अगर उसके दिमाग में बैठ गया है, बिकॉज का इतना यूज करेगा, देयरफॉर का बहुत यूज करेगा, प्रोबेबिलिटी का बहुत यूज कर देगा, 3-4 वर्ड्स को पकड़ के वो पूरा पेपर घुमा देगा। सी, इस ढंग से एग्जामिनर बोल्ड नहीं हो पाएगा। यू हैव टू बोल्ड द एग्जामिनर, यू हैव टू टेक द विकेट ऑफ द एग्जामिनर, यू हैव टू इंप्रेस द एग्जामिनर। Take examiner as someone to whom you want that he or she should accept your proposal. So you have to impress the examiner. Now this thing will create a lot of problems. You have thoughts, प्यार करते हो पर बता नहीं पा रहे हो, लैंग्वेज नहीं है आपको किस तरह बोलना है, फ्लो नहीं है आपके पास, You are unwieldy. There is no flow in the answer. एक बार आप कोई बात कर रहे हो, एक बार कोई बात कर रहे हो, एक बार कोई बात कर रहे हो. There is lack of maturity. This entire things, ये क्या problematic areas हैं ये सारे. Then the biggest problem that I have seen when I have checked so many of the answers of the students is that they basically lack in grammatical skills. They lack a lot of spelling mistakes. So grammar problem and this is really going to create big problems. You need to work on the spellings of each and everything. Then you need to work on the grammar skills. Your grammar skills should be right. This is one of the biggest problems. Another big problem about the student is lack of indigenization. What is this lack of indigenization? Lack of indigenization of vocabulary. It means you are not aware of the vocabulary of the area on which you are writing an answer. Suppose you are writing an answer on environment. So, ये environment वाला जितना भी theme है, जितना भी chapter है, उसका एक distinct vocabulary है. It has got a distinct vocabulary. In this topic of environment, you are required to write certain words like sustainable development, like degeneration of the environment, irretrievable breakdown of the environment. You need to write ecology, you need to write ecosystem, you need to write biodiversity, you need to write genes. So these are the words that you will be using to write an answer on environment. But many students, they lack this vocabulary. See, the vocabulary for a polity question will be entirely different from the vocabulary of environment question. And the vocabulary of economics question, the question that will be asked on Indian economy or world economy, it is going to be different from the vocabulary of a science and technology question. If examiner is asking you a question on stem cell technology, the way you will be writing this answer, it is going to differ from the answer that you will be writing on economy, on India's 5-year plans. So these are the things that needs to be kept in mind. These are the general mistakes. Now you have it. These are the mistakes that you need to avoid. First of all, you should develop the ability to present your thoughts on a piece of paper. Now, how to do that? I will be discussing the things also. Now, how to learn to develop this thing? How to learn to put up your thoughts on a piece of paper? This is a big thing. See, you can learn to do this thing. Suppose in the morning you get up and you read an editorial. After reading an editorial, what you need to do is just develop your thoughts. First of all, develop the understanding of the vocabulary given in the Hindu editorial. Just read that complete editorial. Develop the understanding about that editorial. The understanding will help you to build up these thoughts. Now, how these thoughts will be built up? Important thing. Thoughts किस तरह बनते हैं? Thoughts बनेंगे जब आप editorial को read करोगे, आप editorial के साथ बातें करोगे, you will reflect the things that you have understood. If you will talk with the author, if you will do the comparative analysis, if you're loving the topic, these things will help you to build up thoughts. Now just try to write that thoughts on a piece of paper and get it cross-checked by some of your friend, or you can just mail me up if you're doing this exercise. I will have a look up at your answer, see what kind of basic problems you're having. This is the kind of MRI or the scan that you need to do. Now after doing this thing, after just putting up your this thoughts on piece of paper, you will come to know whether you are having the ability to express yourself or you're lacking in this ability. If you're lacking in this ability, you need to repeat the exercise that I have told you on a daily basis. You need to decode the attitude the way I have been doing on this my website brainicky.com. You need to do that. You need to understand the editorial, talk with the editorial, play with the editorial, romance with the editorial, develop the thoughts, love the editorial, come out with your own thoughts, your own beliefs, develop your own value system. Once you have developed your thoughts, then try to put it up on a piece of paper. Then you will come to know about certain things. This exercise is self-assessing exercise. What you are having in your own self. These are the problematic areas. Now, after knowing about the problem areas, you must also know about what are your own problem areas. This will help you to assess yourself. The second thing that you will come to know by doing this exercise is, you will come to know that what kind of vocabulary you are having. Vocabulary means volume of quality and quantity of vocabulary. Civil services require at least a vocabulary of 1000 words. 1000 words vocabulary means you can crack the civil services by being in top 50. If you are possessing 500 words, you will come down. If you are just possessing you are playing with 250 words. It means you are playing with less number of words. You will not be able to impress the examiner. The more the vocabulary, the more the examiner will fall in love with you. And that is what you are required to do. You have to make him fall in love with you, with what all you have written. And to do that, you have to write in a beautiful manner. You need to present your thoughts in a beautiful manner. Now, how can these thoughts be presented in a beautiful manner? You can present your thoughts in a beautiful manner if you are having a command on vocabulary. प्यार करते हो, but you are not able to tell your lover in good words that you love her. She is not going to accept the proposal. Sorry, you will be rejected. Sorry, really sorry. So, in order to impress the checker, you must possess a good vocabulary. How to do this will come up in next class. The third thing is about the flow. After doing this exercise, after doing the self-assessment, whether you are able to put up your thought on a piece of paper and checking whether you are having vocabulary, just read your answer after 2 or 3 days. Just do this act, just reread your answer, whatever you have written, or reread whatever you would have decoded from the editorial after a gap of at least 2 to 3 days. See that, why I'm saying about this gap, if you will read it immediately, you will feel, yo, it's okay, I've done it, I can crack civil services. Actually not like that. You need to give a gap of at least of 2 days to 3 days. Then go on to read that thing again, whatever you would have written. You will feel, yeah, this is really not good. If you will do it after the gap, oh, this is a very low standard, I could have written it in a better manner. Now this thing will help you to know about what flow is. So flow is nothing but like a song. It is like the lyrics of a song. If the lyrics of a song are really nice, there will be flow in the song. Like तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम. So there is a flow in the lines. And there are songs which lacks in this flow. See, examiner is not going to get impressed if you're lacking in this flow. Now, how this flow can be, how to get this flow? Next class. Now, regularizing the way of presentation, regularization. It means you are just regularly on regular continuous basis because you are lacking in this vocabulary. You have lagged in the answer writing practice. आपके पास answer writing practice नहीं किया, उसके बाद because of that there will be regularization of the way of you are presenting yourself. See, it is really going to make the checker bored. He will give you less marks. And mind you, एक बार examiner answer read करता हुआ बोर हो गया, you're out of the race of civil services. So, present your thoughts in 10 different ways. Learn to propose in 10 different ways. Learn to do something in 10 different ways. That is must, that is required, that is need. If you will not be able to do that, this checker, you will really get bored. And once the checker will get bored, your lifeline, your professional line in its palm, it is going to fluctuate. So, never ever try to regularize your way of presenting the thoughts. Try to give variation. Just don't go on bowling and in-swinger. Present the examiner with a variation. Just bowl like Wasim Akram. You have different ways of doing that. You have different ways of writing an answer. In-swinger, out-swinger, Yorker, over the head, full toss, and what? Another kind of watch. See, and the fifth, lack of indigenization of vocabulary. Now, what it means? I've already explained you. Don't ever try to replicate the words or the vocabulary of a particular area into another area. Every area has its own type of vocabulary. I'm not talking about the general words, I'm talking about the core words. See, if you're writing an answer on agriculture, एग्रीकल्चर वाले चैप्टर का अलग ढंग से वोकैबुलरी है, आपको वही वोकैबुलरी यूज करके आंसर करना है. जनरल वर्ड्स हैं, उनका आप सहारा ले सकते हो, but more or less you need to confine yourself to that particular vocabulary. Now when I am saying this, you might be thinking that is तो बहुत बोर हो जाएगा examiner. It is not like that. Now what your examiner is going to see in this particular aspect of the thing that I am telling you, if you will be writing a vocabulary of some other subject in your answer that is not related to each other, examiner will feel as if you have not read. Now once that feeling will pop up in his mind, or that feeling is going to incept or germinate or blossom, you will be in a trouble. You will be in a trouble. So in order to get out of this trouble, develop the indigenous vocabulary of each and everything. Now how can that be done? Next class. See, these were just the class, general class, the problem areas that people have. I just don't want to discuss anything more in this class. And before just going to click on this mouse and go on to the next class, don't do it immediately. Just give yourself a gap of at least 2 days. Just let these things imbibe in you. Let yourself know the importance of putting your thoughts on a piece of paper, having a good vocab, developing vocabulary, not presenting your thoughts in a similar manner, and about indigenization of language. Let the things percolate in your blood, in your body, in your inner sense. If you will not do that, क्लास का कोई फायदा नहीं. कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं बताया मैंने इस क्लास में. This class was a very general class. This was answer writing skill class 1. You can develop the skills only if you will know about the problem areas. So, next class, one very good concept, thought blast concept. Second class is about thought blast concept. Thanks.